Hello there, this is Lee Thurburn, and I'd like to welcome you back to another live stream, Lee, where we talk about things that are going to help your business grow faster. Today, we're going to be talking about cell phone app development and the revolution that is going on in the business world related to cell phone app development. Now, while I'm talking, I'm going to load something over here on the right that I want to be able to share with you. But in just a moment, we're going to jump right into the development of a cell phone app. I started that process yesterday. And so today we're going to continue developing the app that I started on yesterday. But before I do that, I have just a couple of housekeeping things I need to do. The first is I want to tell you about the Apricot Rocket system, which is the software that I've developed, and kind of think of it as my day job. I also teach school at UT Arlington, and we develop software. We develop software that is software that helps businesses grow faster. And the primary focus of our development activities has been a system called Apricot Rocket. ApricotRocket.com, I keep mentioning, is a great place for you to go to create an account, and we'll do what we can to help you get customers. That's basically the mission of the Apricot Rocket system. It is a tool designed to help small businesses get new customers, get relationships with customers, build relationships. We do that in a variety of ways, but you can kind of think of us as being similar to LinkedIn and Facebook, but with a very business focus. So that's kind of my day job. For the Livestream Lee, we've set up a website called livestreamlee.com. Very creative, right? And if you go there and create an account or join the community, you'll be creating an account on Apricot Rocket and joining the community. And there are a number of benefits to joining the community. You get certain information, like some of the stuff that we share on these live stream episodes. You get follow-up documents that you would find interesting, I think. So anyway, that's what that is there for. Now, before I actually share a screen and start talking about the app development, I want to tell you about a friend of mine. His name is Bob Hurt, and you can see the shirt that I've got on, and kind of over here in the corner behind me when I take down Bob's little panel, you'll see a mannequin wearing the shirt. These are great shirts, and they're incredibly affordable. And if you have ever thought about branding your company, things like shirts or hats or that kind of stuff, Bob is the guy to know. Go to livestreamlee.com and click on the Bob Hurt link. You'll be able to get Bob's information, get in touch with him, and he will be able to help you get branded corporate apparel. He does a great job. He's been in the business 50 years. Nobody knows it better than Bob does. And he'll get you a great price, great quality material, great quality product shirts, and get you the shirt decorated with screen printing or embroidery or any number of other processes that he has available to him to help you get what you want on the shirt. So do that if you're looking for somebody to help you get branded corporate apparel. Bob Hurt's a great guy to know. He'll take care of you. All right. What we're going to do is I'm going to take that off the screen, and I'm going to share my computer. And let's see here which screen I'm going to go to. Share my screen. Let's see. Plans and pricing, Adalo, promotional placard, StreamYard, Untitled. Okay, I need to actually go to Adalo and log in. Here we go, AR demo. Now, maybe that'll come up. So let's see if that comes up. Entire screen. Here we go. So now I'm going to share my screen with you. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to develop an app on Adalo. Now, I started out yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and make this full screen. I started out yesterday with, let me go ahead and make it full screen over here as well so that you can just see this better. So what I want to do today is I want to build upon this app that we created yesterday. So I created an account on Adalo and just logged into the account. And we added a screen that is called a splash screen. And it's this one that you see right here that I'm pointing to, hovering over the different elements. The splash screen is what people will see immediately after they tap on the icon on their cell phone that launches the app. And so when they log in or when they see that screen, that's what they're going to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the preview button, and we're going to actually just go through the process of seeing exactly what we have so far. Okay, so this is what the app would look like when it gets loaded on somebody's phone, and then they tap on it. It comes up and it has your logo, your company name, maybe your phone number and your email address. Those, by the way, can be made clickable so that when somebody clicks on them, they call you or they send you an email. And then they either log in or sign up. Well, I'm going to sign up because we don't have an account for me yet. So what I'm going to do is create an account called Lee at lee.com. I'm going to make it real easy to sign in later. We're going to, password is going to be Lee, and my name is going to be Lee Thurburn. Okay, I'm creating an account. So I click sign up, and then automatically I'm going to be taken to the home screen. And as you can see, there's nothing there. So we've just used the app as it currently stands. Now remember that Adalo creates 3 screens for you automatically. They create a sign up screen, a login screen, and a home screen. The home screen is where you land after you either sign up or log in. I added the splash screen in yesterday's example. So today what we're going to do is we're going to make the app a little bit more functional. To do that, we actually need to collect information. So I'm going to basically add the ability for you to collect information from somebody when they enter the app. Now you already know their email address, there's a password, and then you know their full name, because that's what they had to do. They had to enter to create the account. So over on the left-hand side, there's a number of tools that you can click on. And this one right down here that says database is certainly an important one. And if I click on it, you're going to see it slide out, and you're going to see that there is one database called users, and it has one record. Adalo uses the language collections to refer to databases. You can actually think of these as the equivalent of spreadsheets. A collection is a spreadsheet. Another way to think of it is as a table. A table is what most database programmers will think in terms of is creating a table and putting information into a table. So using their language, collection, let's click on users and see what we have. Okay, so we have 4 fields right now. We have a field for email, password, username, and full name. Now, you'll notice that we did not require a username on sign up. So that's an extra field, and quite honestly, a lot of people will simply require a username as part of the sign up and not ask for a full name. So in this case, we just ask for the full name. If I click on this record right here, it says one record. If I click on this one record, we actually see what's in the spreadsheet. And so basically, the columns here, email, password, username, full name, created date, this is exactly like a spreadsheet that you might create in Excel. So right now, this database has one record, one row in the database. Now you could add a record. In this case, we'd be calling it a user. You can add a record to this user database, or we can do that through the app. But I'm just going to go ahead and click done and close this out. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a property. Now, you can think of a property as another column, and what you're going to do is you're going to add a column to the table, and you're going to add a name to the top of the column. So let's do this. Let's add a, let's just add a phone number. Okay, so a phone number is a number type field. So we're going to click on number, and we've just added a new property, a new column, a new field to the table. And we're going to call this phone. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and save it. And we're going to go back and look, and now you can see there's a phone field added. I go look at the record, and as I scroll across at the top, you'll see phone has been added right here, and it shows that it's a number. Okay, so it's that simple to be able to add information. So let's do this. Let's collect a little bit of additional information about this person. Okay, so we now currently know an email, username, full name, and phone. So let's come down here and add a couple of more things. Let's add a street, city, and state, and zip. Okay, so we're gonna call this street, and then we're going to add another property called city. And we're going to add another property text called state. And then we're going to add another property called zip. And we'll just stop with that. So we're going to add a number called zip. Okay, so now we have the ability to collect information, including a name, a phone number, and an address on somebody. But you don't want to try to capture that information here on the sign up, because that makes the sign up process real cumbersome and real long. And so what you want to do is you want to create a sign up or a profile process where somebody can add a profile. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this big plus button up here, and we're going to add a button. This is going to be a very simple way to do this. We're going to add a button by just dragging it over to the home page. We're just going to put it right top center. We'll worry about styling later. We're going to put it top center, and I'm just going to go ahead and move this over, and I'm going to make this a little bit larger so you can see what we're doing. We got a button right here top center, and I'm going to go ahead and click on the button, and that brings out the slide out on the left. We're going to give the button a name. We're going to call it Add Profile. Okay, so we're going to add a profile. Now I'm going to scroll down a little bit and looky here. This button has a big plus sign. That is the icon. I'm going to click on the X to remove the icon because I don't want one. Now I'm going to slide the edges of the button out to the basically near the edges of the phone, and then I'm going to scroll down just a little bit, and I'm going to round the button edges so that the button is a nice rounded edge button. Okay, now this page, Add Profile, or this button, I want it to go to a new page. Okay, now I'm going to zoom out. These are the 4 pages that we currently have. I'm going to zoom back in, and I'm going to click on this button. And over here on the left-hand side, I'm going to scroll down, and at the bottom, there's an Add Action. Now, you can add actions. So an action is what happens when you click on a button or when you do something. So we're going to click Add an Action. We're going to link, and we're going to link it to the screens. And so the screens we have right now are Login, Sign Up, Splash, and we're on the home screen, so you can't link to the same screen you're on. So we're going to click New Screen. We're going to call this Add Profile, and we're going to make it a blank screen, and then we're going to create the screen. And now when I add up, back up, you'll see we've added another screen here on the right called Add Profile. Okay, so if I click on this screen and then I zoom in, it kind of brings it up where we can see it a little closer. Now, if you zoom in and you see there's now an arrow connecting the home screen to the Add Profile screen because the button is pointing to that screen. So we're going to be clicking on this button, and we're going to be going to this screen. That's a flow action that's showing what happens. And so what are we going to do on this screen? Well, we want to be able to edit or add information to the profile. So I'm going to come back over here to this big plus, and I'm going to scroll down, and we have a form. So a form is how you do input. So I'm going to drag this form over, and I'm just going to drop it right here on this Add Profile page. Now, on the left-hand side, the system is asking, what data collection are we going to use? Well, there's only one, and it's called users. So if I click on users, you're going to see that it puts in an email address and a password here for the users. Okay, so what data collection users? What do I want the form to do? Well, by default, it's wanting to log the user in, but there's another action. If I open this up, I can update the logged in user. Okay, so if I click update the logged in user, you'll see that this form changes, and it's got a lot of fields here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over to this side. I'm going to click on fields, and now I'm looking at all the different fields that are there. Well, I called this add profile, but actually what this form is going to let us do is going to let us edit the profile. Okay, so what we're going to do are update the profile data. So I don't really want to update the email or the password here. So I've deleted those. Now, what that does is that doesn't remove them from the database, that just removes them from the form. And so now they're, instead of being visible, they're hidden. Okay, now I look at username and I say, okay, I'm going to give the person a chance to put a username in. We're going to give them a chance to edit their full name, but now they can add a phone, city, street, city, state, and zip code. And so if I want to, I can rearrange these. I can drag this up, and then over on the form side, it actually just automatically moves things. So I'm going to go ahead and put the full name and the phone. I'm going to put username down at the bottom. And so now we have rearranged the form. When I click on full name, it gives me the ability to do some things like enter a placeholder. So full name, enter full name. You see over here on the right, it says enter full name. Those are the placeholders. Input line, single line of text. Okay, is this field required? I'm going to go yes on the full name. Okay, so I'm going to say done. And now I'm just going to go down. I'm going to decide, am I going to require a phone number? I don't know that I want to require a phone number. A lot of people get kind of wonky about providing phone numbers. I'm also going to make this the street, city, state, and zip code. I'm going to make them optional. But I think what I might do, or I might make this, I'm going to go ahead and require a city, and I'm going to require a state. So I'm going to leave that checked. I'm going to drag username down at the end of the zip, and I'm going to leave zip required. So now those are required data fields. Okay, now what do I want to happen when somebody fills out this form? Well, when they fill out the form, they're going to automatically update the data that exists in their record. Remember, they signed in, and so we're talking about the logged in user. Whoever's actually on the app, using the app, is what you call the logged in user. And so they're updating their personal record. But when they do that, wouldn't it be nice to actually see the information on screen? So let's do this. Let's come down to the submit button, which is at the bottom of the form. And so we're going to click on the submit button, and we're going to ask the system what to do. Well, the action is first going to be to update the record. So when you submit, you're going to update the record with the inputs from the form. But let's add another action. Let's link to a new screen that we're going to call profile. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and click on create screen. And now if I zoom out, you'll see that we've added yet another screen, and it's called profile. So this button connects you to the add profile page. And when you submit the profile, that moves it to the profile page. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on this page and bring it up. And I'm going to move it over a little bit more center. And now we're going to actually put information on this page from the database. So I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to click on the plus sign. and I'm going to drag a text field over to the top center. And this text field is where we're going to display the full name of the person on a profile page. So the text field is highlighted, and over here on the left it says enter text. Well, I'm actually going to click on this little red magic text button, and then it gives us the ability to pull data from the database. So the data record that we're in is the logged in user. It's the user database, but we're talking specifically about the user who is currently logged in. So this is a list of the data fields. I'm going to come down to full name, and I'm going to go ahead and put in full name. Now notice that it says on the right hand side, it says enter text full name. And over here on the left, it says enter text. We don't want enter text to display. So I'm just going to come back, and I'm going to click, I'm just going to remove that. Now I'm going to, that's going to be our profile page for the moment. We're just going to leave that there. And I'm going to add one more thing. I'm going to add a button down here that says home. So I've added another button. I'm just going to change the name to home. I'm going to get rid of the icon. And now down here on the left-hand side, I'm going to click add action, link to the home page. Okay, so if we've done everything that we think we want to have done correctly, let me go ahead and save that by saying done. If we want to check everything out, here's what should happen. Somebody should get the splash screen. They create an account, which takes them to the home screen. They can click on the add profile button, which takes them to the add profile screen. They fill out their information and they click submit. They land on the profile page, and then they can click the home button and go back to the home page. Really very simple. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click preview. Now it's going to take me, I think, to the home page because I'm still logged in. And so I'm just going to go ahead and click add profile. And now it's on the profile page, the data entry page that I created. And it remembers my name because it knows who I am because I put that information in when I signed up. But let's go ahead and put in a phone number and then a street and a city and a state and a username text. Okay, there we go. I'm going to update user, and now that's going to take me to my profile page, and now I have my name, and I have a home button, and I can click on the home button, and I go back to the home page. Bada boom, bada beam, we just created an app that collects information from people and puts it into our database. Now, it doesn't really do anything else at this point, but it does that. It lets somebody download the app and collect information and build a profile page. So let's make this, we have a couple of minutes left. Let's make this just a little bit more fun. Let's go ahead and go back over to the database. We only have one database, it's the user database. And let's go down here and add an image. Okay, so I'm going to call this user photo. Okay, so we're going to create an image called user photo. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually change our language a little bit on the button and the page because I just want it to sound like it makes more sense. So as I zoom in on this page, it says add profile. I'm going to click on the button and I'm going to change the word add to edit because we actually already have a profile. It's pretty blank, but we're going to edit it. Now, I don't have to because the page name is different, but I like things to be synchronized. So I'm going to click up here at the top where it says add profile. That's the name of the page. I'm going to click over here on the left. That's the name of the screen. And I'm going to change the word add to edit. Now, I don't have to go in and change any coding. I'm just changing the relationships and the names so that it makes more sense visually. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and click done. So now we log in, and on our home screen, the edit profile button takes us to the edit profile page where we edit the profile, and that takes us to the profile page. But if we scroll over just a little bit and we look at this edit profile page, we actually don't have an image on here yet, because when we created the page, I'm going to go ahead and just slide this up a little bit. When we created the page, we didn't have an image field. So what I'm going to do, since I've highlighted that form, I'm going to come back over here. I'm on the form. Notice it says form. And I'm going to click on fields to open fields. And you can scroll down. You can see, well, there's no image field. That's because it wasn't added to begin with. So now it's a non-visible field. So if I click add visible field, I have my choices. Well, I took off email and I took off passwords, so I didn't delete them. I just hid them. I made them not visible. But I added user photo. So now I'm going to click on user photo and I'm adding it back, and we're going to call this make this field required. We're going to click done. And so now it's actually added down here. Well, what you can't see is that this page, this is a cell phone. So this is actually just sort of showing you the screen, but you can scroll up and down on screens. So this form actually extends below the actual visible real estate of the screen. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm also going to come back over here to the profile page. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit on the profile page, and I'm going to add a little bit more information. So I'm going to grab this button and I'm going to pull it down. I'm going to grab the full name and I'm going to pull it down. And so what I'm going to do is I'm now going to insert a picture up here in the top. So I'm going to click on the plus sign over at the bottom, or over the top left, to be able to add a component. I'm going to come down and grab an image component, slide it over and put it in the top, put it right in the form. And now, since I've highlighted this, I have to tell the system where to get the image. So I come over to image source and I go to database, I go to the logged in user and I get the user photo. And I go ahead and put that in. So now we have a user photo, a full name, and let's go ahead and put in some additional information. So I'm going to now use components. I'm going to grab another text field. I'm going to bring it over. I'm going to put it under full name. And now I'm going to use the magic text. I'm going to go to logged in user. I'm going to put a phone number. Now I'm going to get rid of the enter text stuff in front. And now I have a full name and a phone number. Now, a speed up that you can do is simply highlight a field like phone and hit Control C for copy and Control V for paste. So I hit Control C, Control V, and now I can just take the new field and drag it down. And now, because that's a new field, I can edit it by coming over here, and I'm going to put my cursor behind the user phone, hit the backspace, use the text, go to login user, and I'll put street. And now I'm going to Control V, Control C, copy that. And I'm going to put street in here, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to remove street. I'm going to do Control. I'm going to do logged in user city. Now cities are usually fairly short, so I'm going to shorten this field up. Now I'm going to go ahead and move the button down a little bit. I'm going to do Control C, Control V, and I've got state. So I'm going to take the field that I'm going to make state, and I'm going to drag it up, and I'm going to put it right behind city. And now I'm going to come over and I'm going to get rid of the city, and I'm going to use the magic text to get the logged in user city and put in, and then I'm going to copy the city field, and I'm going to move, whoops, I got to do copy V, copy C, copy V. Now I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to rename this as zip code, logged in user zip. Okay, so now we've actually got a profile page with some information on it. And so I'm going to go ahead and click preview. So bring us back to the home screen. I'm going to click edit profile. I'm going to come down now and I'm going to click on user photo. If this was on my phone, I could take a photo. I'm going to go ahead and put a picture, just the Appy Rocket logo picture in here, and pretend like that's my photo. I'm going to click update. And now we're going to land on the profile page that we just created. And we have a picture, we have a name, we have a phone number, we have a city, a street, city, state, and zip code. Well, you know what I put? Looks like I might have gotten the city name in there twice. I need to edit that, right? So I'm going to go ahead and click on the X. I'm going to come in here. I've got city and I've got city. So I made a mistake. I didn't put in state. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to go logged in user. Here we go, state. And that will have fixed that issue. We are now out of time, so I'm going to leave this until Monday of next week, which I'll come back. We're going to clean this up, and let me go ahead and just minimize this and come back to and remove that. We're going to clean that up on Monday. We're going to make it prettier, and then we're going to add some additional elements. We're going to make it more fun to use this app. You know, the whole purpose of me showing you this is for you to fully understand why the price of cell phone apps is plummeting. And if you are interested in having a professional, really great looking, sophisticated cell phone app, and you don't want to have to learn how to do all this stuff that I'm showing you, give me a call. Go to apricotrocket.com, reach out to me. My phone number is there at the top of the website. Give me a call. I'm going to be delighted to talk to you. We have some incredibly affordable, incredibly powerful, just plain awesome apps that you can have for mind-blowing low costs. Now, I'm going to tell you about another guy I want to make sure you know about, because when your business gets to the point where you're ready to start thinking about retiring, you're going to want a guy like Bob Hampton to help you. Bob is a CPA and a financial advisor who does a lot of work in the field of end game consulting. In other words, when your business reaches the point where you're ready to retire and you want to get the maximum value out of your business, Bob's the guy that you want working for you. Now, Bob will tell you, and I will too, that if you get in touch with Bob before the last minute, there's a lot more choices that you can make about how you structure the deal so that you end up with the maximum cash and the minimum taxes. That's what you always want to do. You want to absolutely minimize your tax liability. And there's a lot of things you can do from a planning perspective that Bob is an expert in. So if by chance your business is on that end of the sort of the life cycle, and you're thinking about those kinds of things, get in touch with Bob. Go to livestreamly.com, click on the Bob Hampton button. You'll go to his website where you can see his number and get in touch with him. Bob is a great guy to know. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial today. We're going to take this app and just kind of build on it and grow it. You are going to love what you're learning. But more importantly, as we go through this process, you're going to learn some things about cell phone apps that are going to blow your mind about what they can do to help you grow your business. Thanks for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you. By the way, tomorrow on Friday, we're interviewing Valerie Grimes. Valerie Grimes is known as the hypnotic hiker. She is she's developed a brand new line of business here in the days of COVID that are really a lot of fun and exciting. And we're going to be talking to Valerie tomorrow at 3 o'clock about how she has redirected and re-engineered and is growing her business. So come and listen in tomorrow as we talk to Valerie, and come back on Monday to learn more about Adalo.